This is Seventh Generation Warfare, and I am your current host, John Nelson. In this episode, we'll be looking at anagnorisis. What is anagnorisis? Anagnorisis is the point in a play or novel, etc., in which the principal character recognizes or discovers another character's true identity or the true nature of their own circumstance. So it's a thing in literature, and it tends to be very dramatic when a character has a major discovery either about themselves or about somebody else in the story. Some examples would be Luke Skywalker finding out that Darth Vader's his father. That'd be probably the most easily culturally recognizable example, and you can see the anguish that brings Luke in The Sixth Sense when Bruce Willis's character finds out near the end, the nature of his being. Shocker, right? And then in Fight Club, when Edward Norton's character, I don't even remember his name, finds out that he is Tyler Durden, right? So pretty dramatic events. Shocking, comes with a strong emotion when reading or watching that sort of content. But I had a realization today that could be described as anagnorisis, and it was in my everyday life when parenting my child. So, what is the definition of anagnorisis in parenting? Well, I'm going to tell you because I just came up with it today. The discovery that your child got a previously unexplained behavior from you. So, today it looked like over the past several weeks, my 4.5 year old has been giving commands and orders, and he says, "You do this, and I'll do this," and it's kind of in a way that I found slightly annoying because he was so demanding and so stubborn about it. But then this morning, he wanted me to do something, and I said, "Well, you can go do that, and I'm gonna go do this," and I just stopped right in my tracks, and I was like, "Oh my God." I heard his voice in mine, and I heard my voice in his. He got that behavior from me, and I didn't realize until just that moment, which brought about a bit of shock for me, and then sent me on the mental expedition of looking up anagnorisis and redefining it for parenthood, and now making a video about it. So why is this shocking, as anagnorisis for parenthood? Why is this shocking? Because it really shows us that our children are little mirrors to our own behavior, and it also shows the severity at which we have the influence over our children. When you realize just how pure of a copy they can be in many ways, it's quite startling, and with that you realize that with that mirror or copying, you have such great ability to lead them to good or lead them to destruction or lead them down so many paths that you should take pause and say, "Whoa, am I parenting correctly? Am I wise about my decisions, even like the things in my daily life that I'm not giving conscious thought to? How are these impacting my children?" So, previously in some generation warfare videos, I talked about parents having the unique privilege over their children, and this is one of the clear examples of that. Is how the children mirror you in this way. So, in order to get this privilege, and then, hopefully it doesn't hit you like a load of bricks with the anagnorisis, but it's better to have that anagnorisis feeling and have that sudden realization, like, "Oh, wow, that thing I didn't know about him or my child, that's me." It's better to have that at some point than not have it at all, which a lot of parents will just constantly complain about a child's behavior, and you as an outsider of the family could be like, "Oh, that child seems a lot like you," but the parent in the moment can't see it, and they're actually fighting against themselves in some weird spiritual way, which is funny and tragic all at the same time. So I mean, it's best to have the self awareness to not need it to hit you like a load of bricks, but it's also better to have it hit you than never come to the realization. And it doesn't have to be good or bad. Like the anagnorisis, it can be, you know, it could be something good about your child that you're like, you think your child is the most charitable person, and then you realize like, oh, they're charitable because I'm charitable, or something like that. So it can definitely be a good behavior as well. But in order to have that unique privilege, you need to be the primary influence in your child's life. This means not sending them off to be raised by other people, and certainly not having them raised by screens. You need to be the primary influencer in their life, and with that, you need to be aware of your child's behaviors, all the little idiosyncrasies that they have, all the little quirks, all the little ins and outs of your child's behavior. The more in tune you are with that, the more you'll just be able to understand the connection, that unique privilege you have with your children, and it won't necessarily have to come to an anagnorisis moment or just never get realized at all. So uh, be aware of all your children's behavior, and then you also need to have the self-awareness to see what you are and what you are potentially passing. If you're not self-aware, then you're never going to be able to connect any of your children's behaviors to your own, because you don't even know who you are, right? So you have to discover yourself, know what your behaviors are. You have to understand your child and know what their behaviors are, and you have to be around enough to see them develop and exhibit those behaviors. So, uh, yeah, I hope that helps. I hope that you are mindful parents and very in tune with your children. And I hope if you ever have an anagnorisis moment with your child, it is one that is positive and good. And but even if it's an anagnorisis moment that is negative and shocking, well, that gives you an opportunity to go back to your sixth generation warfare, improve yourself, and take that behavior out of your lineage, so that no further generations after your children will be influenced by it. Thank you for watching. This is Seventh Generation Warfare. I'm your current host, John Nelson, and this was a little talk about anagnorisis.